Sometimes it's easy to forget that David Soknacki is running for mayor. So far, the race has been dominated by Rob Ford and Olivia Chow and jokes about John Tory going golfing. But Soknacki, who is David Miller's old budget chief, is an interesting specimen. He's basically a policy generator, tossing all sorts of platforms onto the table. Some of these he actually calls prime directives, as if he's literally a Star Trek character. He suggests stuff like banning street parking in the downtown core so that there's no gridlock, and most recently, trimming the police budget by something like $65 million. Of course, this is all if he's elected. It's easy to like a politician like David Soknacki. He's the nerdy number cruncher to Rob Ford's bench-riding football bully. He's a smart guy and a good candidate, maybe even a noble candidate. Heck, it's even tempting to want to vote for him. But the thing is, when you're polling at 10% or under 10% in an election, it's easy to say pretty much whatever you want. You can make all kinds of promises and have all kinds of interesting policy platforms when you probably won't have to account for it. Soknacki's kind of like the kid running for class president promising no homework and Mountain Dew water fountains. When it comes to elections, there's a tendency to think that democracy is just an exercise in democracy itself, that voting is some sort of inherently dignified thing. Voting is great. It's way better than not voting, for sure. But there's nothing inherently dignified or noble in throwing your vote away. Soknacki has a place in this election, even if it's just in his prodigious ability to bring important issues, like the police budget, to the table. But the sad fact remains that there's just no way that he can catch up with the front runners. In practice, democracy is hindered by all kinds of nagging practicalities like this, by issues of who can actually win an election. So while it may feel good in principle to vote the way we want to, it's often not the most direct route to a better society. I mean, remember in 2010 when everyone started slapping on small wonder badges and voting for Joe Pantalone on principle? We all saw how that turned out.